You are winning. That should be the first building block for you to start getting your confidence back. After you disconnect, start realizing that, hey, wait a minute, I'm thinking here. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. Right? And don't let them disfellowship you. Leave on your own terms. Because if you allow them to demean you on your way out and then they disfellowship you in front of everybody, that's the last parting blow to your self-esteem, to your self-worth, your value. Do not let them do that to you. You walk away on your terms. If you want to write a letter, fine. I just say just walk away. Because there's no evidence to disfellowship you. Why would you let them have the last say of your life on your new beginning? No, that's a blow to you. Right? So ultimately, you got to disconnect. And once you have finally made that decision, it's not going to be easy, right? Because you're giving up what you've always known to something that you're not familiar with yet. But one of the things that I did, because I've always been inquisitive and curious, is I started going out to these different churches to learn, right? Because when I was a kid, they would always tell us churches, these other organizations are bad, they're to be abhorred, and Christendom, and blah, 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 right? So I would go, not because I wanted to know anything about the Bible or a relationship with God or spirituality. I didn't care about that stuff. Still don't. I wanted to see how it worked. And what you'll find is that they're all reading from the same Bible. Outside of some minor changes, thous and thines and you, it's the same gospel, quote unquote gospel. It's the same thing. The Jehovah's Witnesses have a publication called the Daily Text, which are sound bites of biblical scripture for those who need that drug. And other Christian sects, sects, other Christians have something similar. It's just titled different. So the point is, you start learning stuff, and then you can start dropping what doesn't serve you. Right? You start dropping that stuff. It's dead weight. You don't need it. I went on this major learning, and it wasn't something I don't think I consciously decided to do. For whatever reason, it was put in me. And for about 3 or 4 years, I would go to Barnes & Noble, pick whatever book, however I was feeling, and I would sit down and I would read it all day. All day until I finished it. I went through this about 3-4 years. And I realized that everything I've learned as a child in that organization is a lie. 99.9% of it is a lie. More stuff I can get off my shoulders, get off my chest. And as you start to learn what's genuine versus what isn't, you start to get you're adding value to you. You're bringing your confidence back. You're bringing your whoever you were before the Jehovah's Witness religion. That's who starts to surface when you start dropping their baggage and learning. Right? And I believe people who are going to be used to help humanity or as a crutch for humanity, we almost have to go through this. Some people's lives are more public than others. Public meaning, your family, your friends, everybody in the world knows what happened to you, and they use it to try and tear you apart and damage you. I know what that's like. I went through the public side of it. That is the only way I can sit here and talk to you on this podcast. You may not have to go through that, right? But, you start getting that information and you can lessen that, then the real you starts to surface. And then the things that you have always suppressed because you couldn't do, now those things start coming up for you and urging you, hey, try this, do this. And eventually you'll find the thing that helps you, the thing for you in terms of how you're going to help humanity. This is fulfilling to me, right? I started doing those things. I got a real estate license. I'm doing this podcast. I've written a book. I've written a television show. All these things, plus others, I have in the works right now. I started boxing. I've wanted to box since I was a kid. But, when you live in the Jehovah's Witness lifestyle, it's, Jehovah wouldn't approve of this violence. And you just can't do it. And the first thing it did for me when I started boxing and I got up the nerve to do it is it started instilling confidence, a better work ethic, which all comes down to increasing your value. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a genius at it. I'm not trying to be a boxer or professional. I can take care of myself and the people around me. And I enjoy it. I go every day. Right? So these are some of the things that start to happen once you fully disconnect. Because I believe that you are weak people or people who can't open their eyes. They cannot take this journey. And yours are being, for whatever reason, I don't know what the catalyst is for you. I don't even remember what it was for me. I just knew my way of operating is wrong, and it goes back to how we were raised. So the fact that your eyes are being open to come out of it means that you are a strong individual. Weak people can't do this. That's why they stay closed. That's why when you tell them, Jeffrey Jackson just said you guys aren't the one true religion, they will close their ears and put their head in the sand. You can't do that. It takes a strength, a certain type of intestinal fortitude to be able to do that, to lose everything, and then come back and be better. That is where you are headed, my friend. Redemption is there for you if you want it. It's there for you. But you can't continue to have one foot in and one foot out of that doctrine of death, because that's what it is. It's a destruction of your mental and emotional capacity, and even physically when you start talking about the no blood transfusion. Right? It's designed. Go and look in the description, click on the link, and listen to what people who worked at the headquarters are saying. They're leaving in mass. Right? And there's a guy also from, I think it was maybe the 70s or early 80s, named Raymond Franz, who wrote a detailed book about how wrong this religion is. So information is there for you. It's there for you to transition. This is for you. That's why you're listening. This is for you. And when you finally cross over, you're going to feel better, freer, lighter. You're going to realize Jehovah is not upset with you. You're going to realize it's if you need a blood transfusion, get yourself a blood transfusion. You'll be able to do all the things they said you couldn't do. And nothing's going to happen to you. Nobody's going to rain fire out of the sky and torture you. All the positive things that you wanted to do, or they keep from us. None of those things are going to happen. You're going to be a better version of you, even stronger than before, because you made it through the Jehovah's Witness curriculum. All the negativity that they gave us. They tried to drown us. They tried to kill us. Mentally, they tried to kill. They are designed to kill people's mind state. People who work there are telling us this. These are not my words and my thoughts. So when you cross over, it's so much better. It's so much freer. So much. You'll meet people that you probably would have never ever met. Great. There are still great people out here. But because we're taught to shun everybody, we think everybody's of the devil. No, there are great people out here doing great things. There are tons of positive things going on in this world. Do not let them continue to lie to you. But it's hard to meet those people, if at all, if your energy field is all about negativity and death and destruction. Nobody wants to hear that in conversation every day. It's tough enough out here. Nobody wants to hear that. That is old. That is a dying tradition. That's why people are leaving in mass. That's why you want to leave. So, having said all that, this is just a overview of the things that I'm going to be talking about moving forward. Again, none of what I'm saying is absolutely right, but we need to have discussions from different angles about the same thing so we can get clear about what's really happening, and so we can help people. That's really the end goal of all this, right? To start helping people and receive them gently. And if we can't help them, there are tons of options and counselors and life coaches and psychiatrists and all over the place that are ready to help. They are ready to help. This is just my way. Your way may be different, you know. But this is just, again, this is my inaugural podcast, and I just wanted to give you guys an overview of me, what I intend to talk about. And it's going to be a lot of fun moving forward. And I'm very appreciative of you guys stopping by and spending a few minutes with me. I know you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you decided to give me a few minutes, and I'm very thankful. And if you're able, stop by our store, teespring.com/stores/JW-free-shop-2. That's the number 2. I have a bunch of t-shirts that are, some are fun and some are meant to stimulate thought with regard to the Jehovah's Witness religion. And so if you're able to support us there, that'd be great. If that doesn't work for you, stop by our Patreon channel at www.patreon.com/JWFreePodcast. And everything that you donate helps me to get better. I intend to get better, and also add some interviews of appropriate people who can bridge, what it is I intend to talk about in a way that is easy to grab and can be used can be consumed and used to pass along by you guys. So again, I thank you for stopping by. I'm going to shoot for Wednesdays for this podcast. So the next podcast will be Wednesday, September 11th. Until then, thank you for stopping by and checking out the JW Free Podcast, and I'll see you next time.